Imagine running away from coronavirus in China and then coming to Nigeria and hearing that it has come to Nigeria. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, you're welcome, and if you are returning, you're welcome as well. Today's video is going to be something different. I've gotten a lot of new subscribers and I just want to say welcome to all of you and thank you for subscribing to my channel. I asked you guys, I think a week ago, my Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you follow me. I'm going to leave my Instagram somewhere on the screen, so make sure you follow me. I asked a couple of you guys what video you wanted to see, and you guys gave me quite a number of suggestions. So I put 2 video suggestions together to get this video I'm making right now. I told you guys I got a couple of new subscribers, and that was from the video of me leaving China. So a lot of people wanted to know like why I was in China in the first place, like what I'm doing in China and all of that. Some other people asked for a story time, and my life is not that dramatic, honestly, or at least I let you guys know what I want you to know. I wouldn't come and put everything out here. I just put out what I want you guys to know here on my YouTube. This is basically a story time on how and why I moved to China. Right now I'm in Nigeria, if you don't know. If you guys want to know the story, then keep watching. First of all, I moved to China because of school. I school in China, that's what I do in China. But then instead of making it boring and just saying, oh hi, I moved to China because I wanted to go there to school, I decided to make it in form of a story time and tell you guys like the whole process on how China became an option. Because some people are like, why China, of all places to go? China, do you get what I mean? Yes. I graduated from secondary school, high school, whatever you call it, in 2016. I graduated with the intentions of being a medical doctor. To be honest, I did not want to be a medical doctor, but then of course most African parents feel like if you're not a medical doctor or a lawyer or a medical doctor or a lawyer or one of those professions, best believe you're not doing anything. I actually wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to study aviation, but then like my mom would always tell me, okay, my dad was a pilot, so my mom would always tell me, oh, if I want to have time for my family, if I want to have a family and actually have time for them, being a pilot is not the best option. And that's true, but then that's what I wanted. But then she was able to convince me, and while I was in my senior secondary school, everything I studied was to be a medical doctor. I did the whole physics, chemistry, biology, everything you need to study, or all the subjects you need to take to become a medical doctor. So I finished high school in 2016. Of course, the dream was to finish high school and then stay at home for about 1 or 2 months and then go to uni. I applied for university in Zaria, that's Ahmadu Bello University. It was a government school, so I applied for university there. And let me tell you guys something. One thing with Nigerian schools, or rather Nigerian government schools, is that 80% of the time, for you to be able to go into the university, you need some sort of connections. When I say connections, you need to have somebody that knows somebody, or somebody that is in one of the higher authorities in the university, or somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, you get what I mean, to help you to get admitted into the school. And then the other 20% is like based on your result, of course. We normally have this exam that you take at the end of your high school or whatever, and it is WAEC. So I wrote my WAEC and I came out with a pretty good result, like a result that I didn't need to retake any of my courses. I didn't need to retake any of my courses because I passed all of them. So I was like, okay, yes, I'm going to get into university. And then I applied, and we had connections. Take notes, we had connections, because my result wasn't one of those results that like you get into university based off of your performance. Like it wasn't that good. So even if best believe, even if your result is that good, sometimes you might not get admitted. First thing I wanted to go to is in the north. I'm from the north, but then I'm not Muslim, and most of the times here in the north they favor northerners that are Muslims. So I'm there to put in extra effort. So the list of the names of people that were getting admitted was supposed to come come out in November. I graduated in July, so November came and that list came out and my name wasn't there, so I wasn't admitted. They were like, oh, there's going to be a second list in January. So January 2017 came and there was another list and still my name wasn't there. So that's basically 1 year gone. I didn't get admitted into school. So I was just there. I was honestly sad because like I wanted to go to school, or the dream was to go into university immediately after I was done, right? My mom is in the medical field, so she was like, oh, okay, you can apply for nursing school and then go for that and all of that. So I went and I wrote the exam for nursing school and I passed. I was actually even the best, thank God. So I wrote the exam for that and I got admitted into nursing school. Something happened with, because it was a nursing school here in my state, something happened with the state government, and all of a sudden that I was supposed to resume in 2 months, and that month that I wrote the exam, that nursing school closed down because I think the area was unsafe. There's a case with Boko Haram here, and the nursing school was in an area that Boko Haram would always come and attack, so that nursing school was closed down until further notice. And I think up to now, I don't even think they have opened that school. So it was like, oh wow, nursing school is gone. So that was also gone. At this point, I had started my YouTube channel. I started my YouTube channel in 2016, November. But then honestly, I wasn't promoting it. I wasn't promoting my YouTube channel. I just used to do it and post and watch it alone and just share with a few people. Since I was just at home, I really loved makeup. Ever since I was in secondary school, I loved makeup. I even did makeup for some people during one time in secondary school, and I collected 500 naira for each person's face. That was just funny. But anyway, I started learning makeup. I'm self-taught. I would watch a lot of YouTube videos, and my mom, God bless that woman, she bought me some makeup stuff, and I was self-taught. I taught myself. I would always do makeup every day, just practice. So I was doing that, and then I wanted to learn how to make wigs. I wanted to learn stuff about hair, so I went to this salon to start learning. But then I only stayed there for barely a month, because okay, I learned how to make wigs there. They taught me how to learn to make wigs. They taught me how to fix hair. But honestly, that place, it was more of me working for them than me learning, because they would always send me, okay, the place was on the 2nd floor, and for some reason there was no water on the 2nd floor, so we'd have to go down. Like every day when I come in the morning, I'll fetch, no jokes, at least 4 buckets of water and take it up. And it was just stressful. Okay, there were some other girls with me, but then I would have to do that. And then the woman in charge of that place, she didn't like anybody, she didn't like hair on the floor when there are customers or something. So when there are customers and I'm meant to be standing there watching and learning, I'll be there sweeping and cleaning. You know, after a while, I told my mom, I was like, you know what, I can't stay here, I have to leave. So I left, but at least I learned how to make wigs, right? But then that time, like, frontal closure wasn't really a thing, or rather, in this part of the country, it wasn't really a thing, so they didn't teach me all of those. It was just how to make a wig with like the U-part and the U-part wig, all those regular ones. And then 2017, I wrote JAM again. This is a kind of exam, you see, a certain kind of exam that you need to get into university. So I wrote JAM again, and I applied for the same school, and this time I applied for medicine again. I wrote the post-UME, which is like the exam to get into the school, and I waited, and still I did not get admitted. Oh my god, at this point, this was when frustration started kicking in. This was when the frustration started kicking in, because like all my mates were in school, all my friends were in school, but then it was only me. At this point, it was more like, do you know what, I don't even care what I have to study. I just want to be in school. I just want to go to school. Like, I just used to be so sad. I was tired of being at home. Of course, I was like doing YouTube and doing my whole makeup thing and everything, but like I was just doing it for fun. I wasn't making anything out of it. Like, it was just there. And of course, I'll get bored with it sometimes. I always cry. I would always complain to my mom and everything. So fast forward to 2018, I had to write this JAM again. So this was the 3rd time I was writing this JAM, which is this certain exam you need to get into university. The beginning of 2018 was when everything really started like going on for me. I was getting recognized, I was getting makeup clients, I was getting invited for like some events. I got invited for one event in Abuja, one in Lagos. Like I started feeling like a beauty blogger. And then like I think within the middle of the year, that was when my Instagram took off. At that point, I would get a lot of views because I was making my makeup videos. Sometimes I'll get 10k views. That was a big deal to me. I'll get 20. There was a certain video that I got 100k views. I felt like a celebrity. I was getting so happy. I was very happy. And at this point, I would get makeup clients, and you know, in a day I'll make a reasonable amount that will make me feel good. And I just felt like if I had continued that way, at that point, like I was going to go fast. So at this point, I didn't want to go to school again. Like I wasn't even paying, because like when I was not in school, like I would hear other people say stuff about me and being at home. Like one time, somebody that was supposedly my friend said something about, oh, Sarah, that one, she won't go to school, she's busy at home doing makeup, like something like that. And like I heard different things, you get. So like that was what contributed to me being sad at that time. But then at this point, everything was going good. Like I didn't want to go to school again. Like I was giving I did so many stupid things. I was giving money to go and like apply for JAM, like buy the whole JAM form, which was this exam. And I did it. I did it, and I wrote the JAM. But then once it was time for me to, and do you know, funny enough, this year I didn't read. Like I wasn't interested in school, and this was the time I got my highest JAM score. Like I did very well, and I didn't read, I didn't prepare for this thing, so I don't even know how that happened. So like I was supposed to apply for schools. I was supposed to apply for 2 different schools, and I was supposed to go and buy the form for their post-UME, which is like the exam that you write to enter the school. You guys, I did not buy the form. I did not apply for those schools. I was just there because I was like, I beg, I don't want to go to school again, because I felt like I was living my life at that point. So I wanted it to be that, oh, once the list should finally come out, my name won't be there, so it to be like, oh, I didn't get the admission, so I'll have to be at home for another year. But you guys, don't do that, honestly. But then even before the list of those schools were out and all of that, my mom was like, she already had it in Nigerian schools. She was like, what if we should wait and you don't get the admission? Do you know what, let's just okay, at this point I was also applying for Babcock University, which was the university my sister went to, and I was applying for, I think, anatomy. Yeah, that was the course. But before all of this came to place, I got a scholarship one time. I forgot to include that part. I got a scholarship, but then it was to an Islamic university. Like we didn't know the school it was going to be. Just when it was time to go, they told us it was an Islamic university. My mom was like, you're not going there, blah blah blah, because I'm from the north, but then I'm not Muslim, so it was like a northern part of Nigeria kind of scholarship. How China became an option. So before then, like China has always been a dream location for me. If you're following my Life of Sarah Kyola page, which is like another private personal page that I have, if you scroll down like to my old posts, you will see that I have some posts about China. Best believe at this point, like I didn't even know I was going to school in China. Like China wasn't even an option at this point. But then China was just somewhere that I always loved and I always wanted to visit, because I just felt like it was just very different from everywhere. I used to watch some YouTubers, black YouTubers that lived in China just for fun, not because I wanted to school there or anything, just because like the dream was always to just go and visit China one day, or like live in China for a while, but not to go and school. I have a family friend and a cousin that school in China. Cousin's mom was like, you know what, why can't Sarah try China? My mom was like, you know what, that's a good idea. And then she came back and she told me, she was like, what do you think of China? Do you want to go to school in China and everything? And at that point I was excited. I was like, yes, I want to go. Like I don't mind, because like I just wanted to go to school, right? But then at this point I didn't really want to go to school. But then hearing that I'll go somewhere, like go out of the country to school, it was like exciting for me. So I was like, yes, I want to go to school in China. And then she was like, okay. And then that particular day, I watched a lot of YouTubers that are in China. I watched a lot of Wale vlogs. I watched a lot of her videos. I was just watching people, black YouTubers that were in China. Like I was excited. But then at the same time I wasn't so excited because like things had started happening for me, so I didn't know how I was feeling about leaving and moving to another place. Everything happened and I started applying and for school. I started applying for school, and then I got admission to school in China. If you want to know how to get, nobody should ask me how to get admission. I have a whole video on how to do that, so just scroll down on my channel and you find that. Then I got admitted, I got everything I needed. China was in the option, and then I told my mom, I was like, as much as I'm excited about going to school in China, like I honestly don't really want to go to school anymore. Like school is just not something that I really want to do right now because of how everything was going, and I was just happy, and I felt like if I had continued that way, like stuff would have happened for me. And then my mom was like, you know what, just go and do this, because honestly in Nigeria it's like if you don't have a degree, it's almost like you're useless. If you didn't go to school, it's almost like you're useless. Like you need to go to school. You go here, the thing with Nigeria here is like going to school, you go to school, you get your degree, you come back, you keep your degree at home, and then you go and hustle like you didn't go to school with every other person. But then of course it's different if you went to school and everything. So my mom was like, you know what, just go to school, just do this and everything. So that happened, and then I went to school. Like of course the process of me applying, like at that point I was like, you know what, God is telling me something, I'm not meant to go to school, because things were just happening. Like I think my admission letter, no, not my admission letter, my JW202, this particular thing you need, it expired, so I needed to extend it, and then I extended it. Then the extension letter was expiring the next day, and they didn't want to give me visa. I literally had to sneak into this is a whole story time for another day. But then I snuck into the visa office, guys. I thought I wasn't even going to get the visa, but then yeah, I got the visa to go to China because they didn't know. It was when I was coming out, the guy was like, oh my god, I told you not to enter, how did you enter, blah blah blah. But like he didn't do anything to me. So that was how I ended up in China. And I went to China in September of 2018. But then before then, woo, guys, like I stayed at home for like over 2 years. It wasn't fun, it wasn't nice, but then it was good. And then you guys, moving to China and my school having like very few girls. When I went at first, we were only 2 girls in my class, and that time it was in like a class of 60 boys. It was very different for me, and I did makeup and hair. There was literally nobody's hair and makeup to do, because like the school that had a lot of girls, which was the medical school, it's about 1 hour away from my school. So it was just like you come from like doing stuff and getting small money and just little change to literally doing nothing and just depending on home. So like I love perfumes. If you guys don't know, I have a lot. When I was going to China, I went to China with over 20 perfumes, no jokes. Like I literally went with a lot of perfumes. So you know what, I started selling my perfumes to get some money. And then when I sold my perfumes, like I would literally send some money back for them to get me more perfumes. I came with a lot of hair extension, but like I came with it to make people's hair, but then there was nobody's hair to make. So I started posting, I started selling it out. I sold my hair extensions out, and then one time I made my hair for myself. Some of these Russian girls in my school saw my hair and they're like, oh, who made my hair? Because like there were barely any black girls in my school. They're like, oh, who made your hair? And I was like, it's me. I made my hair myself. And they're like, oh, can you make it? Can you make ours? Then I was like, yes. I made their hair for them, and I'll charge them like ×3 of what I would normally charge normal people. But then it's like, oh my god, it's so cheap. It was so cheap to them. So yeah, you know what, China was so different. I feel like for like 1 year I was still trying to adjust to living in China. I was still trying to adapt to living in China, because it was honestly so different. I have a lot of videos about life in China, but yeah, that's just how I got to start living in China for a while. Of course, I'm not there permanently, at least I don't know yet, but then I'm just in China for school. I didn't go there to work or anything. You're not allowed to work in China as a student. Yeah, I've done a lot of talking. I'm so thirsty right now, and I really enjoyed telling you guys this story. Moral of this story is that just be patient with God. My mom would always tell me, like every time all those school things were just happening to me, and then now I'm schooling in China and I'm studying computer science. I honestly love my course because I honestly love my course because I feel like with my course you can work literally anywhere you want to. Am I still interested in aviation? Honestly, not as much as before, and I feel like God has a reason for everything. My mom would always say God has a reason for everything that's happening. God has a reason, and I want to do in the future. Of course, I don't just want to do YouTube forever, or who knows. But for now, like, YouTube is actually a job. If you guys don't know, like, YouTube is making people millionaires, billionaires. But then, like, aside from YouTube, I want to go into digital marketing. I actually want to study that, take courses, and actually take that seriously, because that's something I'm interested in. So I want to do digital marketing. I've spoken about this in one of my videos. I can't remember what video, but then I've spoken about this in one of my previous videos. So if you're an OG, you've probably heard me talk about this. So I want to do digital marketing apart from like my full-time, apart from doing YouTube. I want to do that on the side, but then YouTube will be it full-time. So yes, China has been good so far. And would I want to live in China? Honestly, for now, I can't say that. I can't say. But then if you're a business person, China is the place for you. China is honestly the place for you. And yeah, now I'm in Nigeria because of the coronavirus. School is supposed to have started, but then I'm in Nigeria because of the coronavirus. Imagine leaving China for Nigeria because of coronavirus, and then you come to Nigeria and you hear that there's somebody infected with the coronavirus. But you know what? We're black, we have thick skin, so no coronavirus can get to us. At least I like to believe. And I have some of you coming in my comment sections telling me that I brought coronavirus to Nigeria. Please don't be rude to me. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, so will I be going back to China? Yes, I will be going back to China, but of course when this whole thing has died down and everything is better, yeah, that's when I'll be going back to China. And what else? If it never fixes itself, will I go back to China? I don't know. Who knows? Only God can say that. And of course I miss China right now, like, because of Wi-Fi. That's like one of the biggest things I miss in China, because like if it's electricity, like, we don't really have a problem with electricity here in my town. I'm not bragging, but it's just facts. Like, there's light right now, but then like electricity is not a big thing, but Wi-Fi, like, internet is so expensive in Nigeria, you guys. To bring this video to an end, in conclusion, I'll say just be patient with everything that's happening to you. I feel like if I had not stayed at home for a while at that time, like, my YouTube wouldn't have grown, my Instagram wouldn't have grown to what it is today. Of course my Instagram is not big, but then like by the time I left Nigeria, I had passed 10k, and that was a big deal to me. And I feel like if I had entered university immediately, I'd have made a lot of stupid decisions, honestly, because like I was just so excited to go to university at that time. But then I'm honestly grateful to God for everything. Just know that everything happens for a reason. Of course, when things are not going how you want them to be, it's so hard to tell yourself, oh, God has a reason for this, God has a reason for that. But then just believe that God won't put you in a situation He knows you can't handle.
My God never flop. My God doesn't wear flip-flop, so He cannot flop. Power.
And yeah, everything is just for the good. God's plans are always for the good for us. He would never like do something so something bad will happen to you. Like, the end is always going to be good. I'm not saying my end has come. No, it has not come. Like, my future is very, very bright. I don't know what God has planned for me this year. This year hasn't started in the best way. But then I remember that last year too didn't start. I remember too that last year didn't start in the best way, but the year kind of ended on a good note. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you want more story times like this, I'll try to make my life more dramatic, so I'll have more story time for you guys. Anyway, thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. And make sure you subscribe, and please follow my Instagram. Let's grow my Instagram. I don't know what's happening to my Instagram. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Ra.